French President Emmanuel Macron insists nothing is decided yet after coming out on top in the first round of his country's presidential election. Mr Macron will now face the far-right candidate Marine Le Pen in the runoff vote. Sky News correspondent Sally Lockwood filed this report.
It's a very tight race for two very different visions for France. The first round results barely counted and Emmanuel Macron was on the campaign trail. No coincidence, he headed to one of the country's poorest towns, areas that feel forgotten by the political elite. His rival Marine Le Pen headed to a rural community south of Paris, promising farmers tax relief if they help her to the Élysée Palace. The far-right leader has tapped into discontent across France by focusing on the cost of living. It's helped detoxify her as a political option. The big question is what will happen to Jean-Luc Mélenchon's supporters. 22% of people voted for him in this first round, and their votes are now up for grabs. Left-wing Mélenchon has urged his supporters not to vote for Le Pen, but he hasn't endorsed Macron either. In the past, people would have united to vote against a far-right candidate, but that isn't happening this time. And the numbers are in the margin of error for Marine Le Pen to win. This is Trump and Brexit territory for France. With less than 2 weeks until the second round, many Mélenchon voters are still undecided.
Je ne sais pas, j'ai pas encore de... Je vais regarder ça de plus près et peser le pour et le contre.
I have to see, there is 2 weeks and I have to see what they want to say in politics, but actually it's very tricky situations, if I can say.
Voting trends are proving unpredictable in this election. The far right, once unthinkable for many, is appealing to some voters for the first time.
When you think, if you add up all the votes for the extreme parties, 57% of the French electorate actually voted for the extremes. And then in the middle you have this centrist island represented by Emmanuel Macron, who of course attracts people from the left and from the right.
This election risks having seismic impact beyond France's borders. At a time when Europe is facing its biggest security threat since World War II, President Le Pen could be another destabilising factor. Sally Lockwood, Sky News, Paris.